Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Can we get serious now?
One thing that did happen during the 60s was some music of an unusual or experimental nature did get recorded and did get released. Now look at who the executives were in those companies at those times. Not hip young guys. These were cigar-chomping old guys who looked at the product that came and said, I don't know. Who knows what it is? Record it, stick it out. If it sells, all right. We were better off with those guys than we are now with the supposedly hip young executives who are making the decisions of what people should see and hear in the marketplace.
Success in the music business begins with a dream, a vision. This podcast will give you, the listener, the insight and tools to turn that vision into a reality. Meet the industry professionals who work day by day behind the scenes, helping to make those dreams come true. Welcome to the business side of music.
On the show with us today, from Marietta, Georgia, Adam Blank is joining us. He is a refreshing presence in the music business when you read his bio. His passionate, his caring, and as a generous host, perfectionist, making his homespun series an unforgettable experience, which is called Live at the Print Shop, which we're going to talk about here on the show, along with his merchandise company, Black Threads. He's got quite the story to tell. Adam, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Bob. How are you?
It's another perfect day in paradise here. I read your bio. You took a curveball in your career when you first started because you were going to college. I think you had your life pretty much planned out in front of you, and then you kind of got blindsided and had to change directions. Tell us a little bit about all that.
Yeah, as they say, life happens, but I had a passion. I wanted to become an actor and moved to Atlanta out of college and to pursue an acting career. And my dad got super sick unexpectedly and went into a coma. And you realize when someone is asleep for a while, you realize what put him in the hospital by answering the phone for a couple of weeks. So his situation was pretty dire financially. So I had to get a job to start participating and helping pay some of the bills.
Right.
With a tough situation. And that kind of took me off of the stage and put me into a job in the recycling industry. And I kind of never looked back. So I just worked really hard. That was 25 years ago. And that same recycling company, I got some sweat equity along the way. And without boring you with the whole story, I ended up buying it. And now I own the business. And it's a pretty successful scrap metal business here in Georgia. So now I'm revisiting the 1994 version of myself with this project Live at the Print Shop. The artist is alive and well. So here I am again.
So Live at the Print Shop, and of course, then when we also talk about your merchandise company, was this something that you had, you said you wanted to get into acting, but is this also something that you had originally intended on doing? Were you a musician starting out?
No. I've always had an affinity for music. Music is pure energy as far as I'm concerned. It's palpable. Music tends to make people feel better. And that's something that I've always gravitated towards. That's why, I have Live at the Print Shop in my life now. I had a desire to create really good content that was lasting forever, that reeked quality, that sounded really good and told a story. And so that's what Live at the Print Shop is for me. It's not about money. This is chasing the intangibles, the things, the experiences. I'm in this for the experiences now. And that's why I think it's a little bit different when the artist comes over here. It's we took the business out of the music business. This is all about Adam Blank giving back to the artists and treating them the way that I feel they should be treated.
When we talk about television shows, we think about Austin City Limits. We think about Music City here in Nashville. After midnight concerts, Don Kirshner presents in Los Angeles, all types of different entities in New York and beyond, even Own a Filter in Baden, Germany. Marietta, Georgia, you wouldn't consider, at least initially, from a knee-jerk reaction, to be a place where you would host a music TV show, right, and be able to get artists to come and perform. How's that working out?
And I love that you say that. The more bizarre and off the beaten path it is, the more I'm into it, you know?
Yeah.
We are a suburb of Atlanta. Okay. So Marietta is just north of Atlanta. So this is sort of a hub for music, obviously, coming through here. So it's a short drive for a lot of the people that come through. So it's not that hard of a get, honestly, to get the people to come through there. But, you know, it's starting off, you know, I use my network to get a few people in here to shoot a pilot. And now 3 years later, we get phone calls to do the show, which is mind blowing. It really is.
When you first started putting this show together, has it turned out the way you initially saw it? Has the format changed, or are you kind of staying the course of what you originally envisioned?
You know, there was really no roadmap to Live at the Print Shop. This was started sort of making lemonade out of lemons, as they say. As you can see behind me, I don't know how much you can see, but this is a functional print shop. I've had a record label for about 15 years and produced a few records. And one of those record deals entailed doing some merch. And so I bought all these machines. This is my guest house, which we call the print shop. These machines were to do some merch for a band that was on the label, and the deal fell through at the 11th hour. And I was like, what am I going to do with this now? I said, I'm going to shoot that content I've always wanted to shoot and call it Live at the Print Shop. And off to the races I was. Now, one thing that has changed is initially when I shot the pilot, I just shot performances. There was no interview. I shot 3 or 4 episodes with no interview. And it quickly became evident to me if I was going to build a brand and tell a story, I needed to talk to these people. You know, the irony is I didn't want to be in front of the camera. And I wanted to be an actor at one point. I just wanted to be behind and produce this. So I had reservations about doing that. I never had any experience interviewing anyone, but come find out that's some of the biggest compliments that I get is the interview style. And I'm just speaking from the heart. It's whatever comes to mind. And I love the fly by the seat of my pants. Whatever I feel at the moment kind of comes out with the print shop. And the artists seem to like that as well. It's a little different.
You're not necessarily genre specific. You kind of are a Heinz 57 flavor when it comes to the style of music that's going to be on the show. Is this something that is part of your nature, that you love all styles of music? Or has there been any particular act or flavor of music that maybe has thrown you for a curveball, especially from the interview process?
Right. Yeah, that's a really good question. And to answer the first part is I have a very eclectic record collection. And this is like my record collection is coming to life.
Right.
Live at the Print Shop. I like all types of music. I know some people say that. I really mean it. One of my favorite records right now is from an artist, a band that came on called the Mavericks. And the Mavericks, are originally most of them from Cuba. And their latest record is called En Español. And it's in all Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, but I love the record, right? It's sort of like an opera to me. I don't necessarily understand opera either, but that's the way that I absorb this. And it's absolutely floors me. So I do. I love all types of music. And I love that part of this show is that people never know what you're going to see. You might see a Southern fusion hip hop act like Rehab one week, and then you'll see Kool and the Gang the next week. Singer-songwriters like Sean Mullins, David Ryan Harris. And then you're going to get rock bands like Collective Soul, Blues Traveler, which we're releasing September 1. It's around the corner, which was just a phenomenal. So to answer your question, yeah, I have a very eclectic music taste. And these artists that come through Live at the Print Shop, I have a personal feeling about their music, and that's why they're here. I look at it sort of from a fan's perspective, not a music executive's perspective.
When you mentioned some of the acts, Blues Traveler, Sean Mullins, those types of acts, does that surprise you that caliber of artistry is coming to you to be on the show?
I have to thump myself every once in a while, because when I'm here shooting the show, the day of, it really blows my mind, because it's here at my house as well. So, it's incredible to have artists like this literally in my soundstage, which is my basement. Okay. We took over the man cave, and it's a state-of-the-art soundstage now. And these people are just playing hit songs that are some of my favorite songs in my basement, and then I'm interviewing him here at my house. So it's a different experience for the, and that's what I want the viewers to understand. This is literally an all-day affair. These artists get here and we spend 6-7 hours together. They're performing downstairs, then we're breaking bread, eating, we're hitting a charity golf shot, and then we come in here and interview. And so that's one of the coolest parts is by the time I get into the interview, I've got to hang out with these artists for about 5 or 6 hours and get to know them a little bit before we sit down. And I think that makes it warms everyone up a bit.
And I say this only in the highest compliment because it's absolutely one of my favorite shows that I have come to enjoy and watch, and that's Live at Daryl's House.
Oh yeah,
from Daryl Hall and Oates. And this sounds very similar in that prospect because he will do exactly that. They'll spend the whole day together.
Yeah.
They will sit down and eat and perform. Is there ever a point where you just feel like picking up, an instrument or a tambourine or joining in on the live performance? Have you had that opportunity?
I've had some very cool opportunities like that. I'm not much of a musician. I'm a wannabe. My son's a pretty good guitar player, but I'm not much of a musician. I'm a supporter of the arts. That's where I know my role. I know my lane, and I kind of stay there. So it really, again, is about the experience of hanging with the artists and creating something that will last forever and that I can look back on, and from an artistic perspective, leave a legacy that is meaningful. And that's the most important thing for me.
On the show with us today, all the way from Marietta, Georgia, Adam Blank is joining us.
Hey there, this is Jonathan Pushkar, and you're listening to The Business Side of Music. Check out my recent episode where we talk about defining success in the entertainment industry, about the modern record deal, and maybe we'll talk a little Lego too.
You're listening to The Business Side of Music.
Hi everyone, I'm Larry Butler, and I want to send you a free digital copy of my new book, The Singer-Songwriter Rulebook. 101 ways to help you improve your chances of success. That's right, everything you need to know to launch your career as a singer-songwriter, all based on my 40 years in the live performance arena, and believe me, I've seen it all. In my book, you'll find the 10 things you have to deal with before even thinking about becoming a singer-songwriter performer. You'll also learn about the 5 things every singer-songwriter can do this weekend to make their live show better. 5 things I can guarantee that you are not doing already. Plus, there's tips on songwriting and staging, photo and video shoots, publishing, merch, dozens of other topics. All written for people who don't particularly like to read. And again, it's free. Just go to the Business Side of Music website homepage and look for my book cover. Click on it, and a free digital copy of my book will be yours. I'm Larry Butler, and I approve of this message.
As a musician, you have a dream, that vision of what success looks like for you. Though it's not only about the money, money is part of it. Whether you've been extremely successful or you're just striving to maintain a regular cash flow, you need a plan. Money Concepts can help you develop a customized plan to achieve the financial stability and success you want. For over 40 years, Money Concepts has been providing holistic financial planning services to individuals, families, and business owners. As an independent firm, Money Concepts and their associates are committed to always represent the best interest of the client. It's really about a committed, benevolent interest in them personally. This independence, coupled with that committed, benevolent interest, means they represent you, the client, not a product supplier. It's not about selling products, it's about helping you achieve success. To learn how this can benefit you, contact my buddy, John Adams, with Money Concepts at 737-867-9309. That's 737-867-9309. You can also email John at jadams@moneyconcepts.com.
You're listening to The Business Side of Music.
Let's talk a little bit about the show because it's a streaming show. It's not necessarily on a cable channel or a network channel at this point. And it's basically, about 40 minutes of performance, and then there's an interview segment on top of that?
The shows, they're about an hour long, and it goes, performance interview, and then we end it with some really fun B-roll and a charitable golf shot at the end. The interviews, however, are about an hour to hour and 20 minutes long. We have some pretty in-depth interviews. And that's a challenging part about the show, honestly. When I'm building the show, picking the select for the interview that we're going to use in the show, because there's a lot of really good things that are said, and you don't want to leave it on the table, but it's, I don't want to make a 2-hour show. So what we're going to do is we're actively putting this together. I think it launches maybe in 3 weeks. We have a podcast as well that are going to be these interviews in their entirety.
Nice.
I think it's important that everyone hears the full conversation that we have, because there's a lot of stuff that I just can't put in the show for the sake of time.
Is this something, and because when we talk about podcast or webcast, in your instance, a streaming show, we're not necessarily encumbered with time constraints or restrictions like you would be if it was a network show to get, the commercial sponsors. And it's a 60-minute show, but it has to be 47 minutes long because you have to have 13 minutes worth of commercials. We don't have that problem. But is this something that you plan on keeping it where it's at in its current home, or is this something you're thinking about maybe shopping at some point and seeing if there is some interest outside of just online streaming?
Another great question. And we have been approached recently by some people that are interested in possibly putting this on more of your terrestrial type of format in terms of TV. There's a company called Hi-Fi, which was sort of a distribution deal of sorts for Live at the Print Shop that we just partnered with. And Hi-Fi is your go-to for live music online, stuff like Live at the Print Shop is producing, and a host of other content creators are on Hi-Fi as well. So they're doing a really good job for us, and I think it's sort of a stepping stone. It's neat that we have interest from other people. It kind of blows my mind. I'm doing this really to satisfy Adam, and once the show is created and made, and I've enjoyed the experience, then I'm good. I'm good. Anything after that is icing on the cake, as they should say. But who knows what the future holds? I'm open to anybody that wants to talk about, getting more eyes on this, because quite frankly, that's my main goal, is to share this with as many people as I can, not from a monetary gain perspective, but really just to inspire people that, may be into something like this, because that's what the show is about, is about inspiration.
Now, you've mentioned some artists that we've talked about. Do you also go down the path of finding undiscovered, yet to be discovered artists or acts just because you love their music? And do you give them that opportunity also?
That hasn't happened yet. However, yes, I'm a huge fan of music in general. And that doesn't mean someone has to have a certain amount of followers or be famous or have hit songs for that matter. So what we're trying to figure out is to get a show that shows multiple artists on the same episode, and let them perform a song each, and then talk to them about where they're going and what their journey's been like up to this point. So that is something that we're currently working on, and hopefully we're going to be able to put that together by the top of the year.
You've been doing this since July of 2019, if I read correctly, Live at the Print Shop. Has it been fairly smooth sailing from the beginning, or were there some hiccups that you kind of went at one moment, why am I doing this?
I tend to, my motto is anything worth doing is worth overdoing. So I'm a guy that's all in when I'm doing this. So the only thing that I'm trying to do is improve on the next one. I really don't have a lot of negative things to say about this project. Like it is really just perpetuated, just beautiful, awesome energy. And that's why I keep doing another one. This is all financed through me. There's no sponsors or anything like that. And it's an expensive hobby is what it is at this point. However, I really think that it's going to be something that I'm going to be look in the rearview mirror and be really proud that I did. And I don't have any desire to stop. I really don't.
Now, currently you're releasing episodes how often?
About once a month.
Is that something that you see changing as a more often opportunity? I guess that's how you would say it. Do you see yourself releasing more episodes on a more consistent basis as time goes on, or are you comfortable with the once a month format right now?
I think I'm pretty comfortable with that because I'm a super busy guy. I have multiple other businesses that I run. And so Live at the Print Shop is a complete passion play for me.
Yeah.
So time is, I wish I had more of it. There's no doubt. This makes everything better, and I wish I could do this all day, every day. However, I have some other businesses that I have to attend to. So I think once a month is kind of my sweet spot for Live at the Print Shop.
So let me ask you, you originally wanted to be an actor. You got into the recycling business.
Mm-hmm.
You now are the director, the creator, the producer of this show. Do you still have the aspirations of being that actor, or is this something that is just kind of a nice suit of clothes for you to wear at this point?
Well, I've got a pretty cool story for you, something that happened just recently. This is kind of the universe giving me a nod, like, hey, man, you're doing the right thing, Adam. But I was approached by a movie producer probably 6-8 months ago, a guy named Ken Merritt, and he said, I'm a fan of your show, and I'd like to talk to you about my film. I didn't really realize that I even had fans, but at any rate, I took the meeting, and he had the script about a struggling musician. He was a big deal in a small town, and his wife passed away. He went and lived on the street for about 10 years. And this is based on a true story, by the way. And his dad was on his deathbed, and his brother came and got him and said, our dad's dying. His dad gives him a guitar, and it awakens his talent that's been dormant in this man for many years. And he rises to the top as a 60-year-old musician. Well, the producer's idea was to have this character in this film come through Live at the Print Shop on his way back up to the top. And so I took the role in the film. I'm playing myself in this movie. We just filmed it. And I signed this guy to Blank Records, and they were filming Live at the Print Shop. It was like 3D.
Wow.
It was pretty surreal. Just playing myself in a film was bizarre, but isn't that the irony of this whole thing is that I was pursuing an acting career and didn't get to do it. And I start this project, and a movie literally comes knocking at my door, and I got to film it here in my house. So it did kind of awaken that actor Adam a bit. I can't lie to you there. I don't think it's anything that I'm going to pursue further, but I really did enjoy doing it. The movie's called Jesse's Gift, and it's going to be out at the top of 2023. So check out Jesse's Gift. You'll see yours truly and a great cast in this, and you'll also see Live at the Print Shop.
That in itself is a great story. When you have artists come through to be on the show, do you kind of, what you just talked about, this director created, do you see other opportunities that you envision in your mind of, maybe because you just said it, anything worth doing is worth overdoing.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see other things percolating in your head? I just don't see you as that guy that sits behind the desk and kind of rests on your laurels. I kind of get this feeling you're constantly looking for the next thing to do in addition to this.
It is sick how much you just described me perfectly. You know me very well already. But yes, to answer that question, I'm always thinking outside the box, even with Live at the Print Shop. The newest thing I want to do is I've recently bought a tour bus, and we're stripping the inside out. And I want to put this on the road to festivals and have a Live at the Print Shop type setting inside there, and really have some of these artists just pop out when they're done and chat a little bit and maybe record a song. Sort of like you mentioned Live at Daryl's House, Jam in the Van is another one. This is sort of a hybrid of those two. I really just think that I love the experiences, social media, all of that type of stuff. I'm really not into it. It's something I have people that do that kind of stuff for me. I'm really doing Live at the Print Shop to have an experience. So going to a festival and talking to someone and doing that, I would much rather do that than spend money on Facebook ads or something like that. You know what I mean? I get something out of that. I get something out of the day when they're performing here. It's truly about the human connection for Adam Blank. That's why I'm doing this.
I'm so glad you say that because, and we feel the same way. Our team's going to be at Americana Fest in a couple weeks here in Nashville, which is a 4 or 5 day major event. We're going to be on location, and we're going to be doing the exact same thing, which is interviewing people who are not only in attendance, but performing and getting those behind the scenes stories. So it sounds a lot like what we envision. You really kind of get a little different flavor when you do it that way because it's not such a controlled environment.
That's right. That's exactly right. I think that's the beauty of it. You want to find an artist in a situation where they're like, because look, they do this stuff all of the time, right? And so they're going to sit in front of normally an interview, and that's where they think when they come here. It's like most of the time they haven't seen the show, maybe very minimal if they have at all. But when they come here, they normally leave and they're like, man, that was freaking awesome. Thank you very much. It's the biggest compliment I could ever have. They're coming to my house. This is a family affair. My kids, my wife, everyone is participating in this. My friends are on the crew. We're surrounded by everyone that is just like-minded, full of love, and is in this for the right reasons. And therefore, it's a breath of fresh air for these artists. And it's unbelievable, the compliments that we've gotten over the years.
On the show with us today here on the business side of music, Adam Blank.
You're listening to the business side of music.
Whether you consider yourself a musician or not, music is all around us, and it affects our everyday lives. Whether it's background music influencing our shopping habits in a store, organ music adding the vibe to a baseball game, or a playlist convincing us to keep going on that last mile of a run. I'm Mindy Peterson, host of the podcast Enhance Life with Music, where we take a holistic look at music's benefits through the lens of science and medicine, entertainment, and business. You can find me and Enhance Life with Music at mpetersonmusic.com/podcast or wherever you get your audio.
When you have a Korg synth at your fingertips, the possibilities are endless. Be it digital, analog modeling, altered FM, wave sequencing, or the multi-engine synth, Korg gives you easy access to a variety of features to help you get the perfect sounds quickly. Whether you're a professional musician or just starting out, Korg truly has a synthesizer to help you express yourself. Visit Korg.com or your favorite Korg dealer to get your hands on one of their products to create new music always. Korg, the official sponsor of the business side of music.
You're listening to the business side of music.
I want to ask you what you talk about, everything you've done, everything you've accomplished. If you had an opportunity to sit down with a much younger self, you, or had the opportunity to sit down with someone who was just getting started in this business, what words of wisdom, what words of advice do you think you'd want to share?
Wow, what a great question. If I were sitting down with a younger version of myself, the thing that I would tell myself is to not to sweat the small stuff and to have forgiveness. Let it go. Because let me tell you, man, I have, over the last couple of years, I've really started living that way, clean myself up in a lot of ways, but offering forgiveness to the people that you think have wronged you, no matter what it is, no matter how much you think you're right, lighten the load. Go and just say, hey, man, I value this relationship. We had a disagreement, no matter what it is, and let it go. If you can let that go, man, you feel so free. And I've done that over the last couple of years, and I think it kind of comes across this way. That's not really music related. It's more just life related. So true. And I wish I would have done that a lot sooner. So that's the one piece of advice I would tell the younger version of myself.
Knowing what you know now, would you do this all over again?
Absolutely. Yeah. I would have done it earlier. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
Knowing what I know now, I would have done something like this earlier because I had no idea how much I was going to get out of a project like this. Initially, it was just about creating good content, but never in a million years could I have imagined the conversations, the meaningful, introspective conversations I've had with such iconic artists right here in my house. It's truly been incredible. And that's something that you can't plan for. That's something that I never in a million years thought that I was going to get out of this. I'm an entrepreneur and I have been my whole life. This is the most successful project I've ever been involved with, and I've made $0.
Yeah.
And that tells you everything you need to know, but it's the truth. It's the truth. I've gotten so much out of this. The intangibles, the conversations, the friendships. It's truly incredible. I don't plan on quitting anytime soon. Feels too good.
If you had the opportunity given to you to bring any artist or act onto the show, who would that be?
Man, God, there's so many.
Pick one.
God, I'm assuming they have to be alive. That's a prerequisite.
That would help, yeah.
That would help.
Because just in case,
chance of getting one of the dead artists that I want in here.
Just in case they're listening to the podcast, this is an opportunity for you to reach out to them.
I guess. Look, I'm trying to scratch the rock and roll itch right now, and I'm really into one of my favorite bands of all time is the Cult, and we reached out. So I'm a big Cult fan. If you're listening, Ian Asbury, come on, man. I'm a nice guy. Come over here and let's hang out. We're working on that.
Yeah.
But there are a couple other ones as well that I should probably mention. I'm a huge fan, and these guys are actually friends of mine, Shinedown, and I love Shinedown. They're a huge rock band. I know a couple of those guys, and I want to try to make that happen. So, God, there's so many. I don't even know if she's performing, and I was just listening to her today, but Tina Turner is, I'm shooting for the stars at this point, but why not, right?
Yeah, you never know.
Is Tina Turner even performing anymore?
No, I think she's retired, and I think she's living, I want to say, in Switzerland.
Yeah, I think she is in Switzerland, but I heard What's Love Got to Do with It this morning, and that's one of those tunes, right when it comes on, it grabs you, Just what a talented lady that she is. God, there's just so many. I like so much music, Bob. It's very hard for me to answer that. I could talk to you about it for years. Look, Rolling Stones, why not? Let's have them over here. I did just have Colin Hay from Men at Work, and man, was that cool to have Overkill. Who Can It Be? Land Down Under. All of that stuff was performed recently, and we're editing that one now. It'll be released after Blues Traveler. That was a treat.
How can people find out about the show, and where can they watch it?
It is a YouTube show. So go to YouTube, just type in Live at the Print Shop, or you can go to liveattheprintshop.com, or you can go to Hi-Fi and check out the Hi-Fi app and find Live at the Print Shop that way through their portal. They're doing a great job for us right now. And we have a new episode releasing September 1st, which is Blues Traveler. It does not disappoint. I just watched it, the final edit today. Make sure you watch it all the way through the B-roll at the end, because there is some hilarious stuff. We had one heck of a day, and just the sweetest guys. They've been together since, 87, 88, New Jersey guys. I learned so much about Blues Traveler from David Letterman being instrumental in their career. They're playing massive hits. John Popper's doing magic tricks. We're telling jokes. It's a lot of fun. So make sure you tune in for that one, liveattheprintshop.com.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Bob, thanks for having me. Best of luck to you. I hope to see you in Nashville.
Same here.
The Business Side of Music is the creation of Tom Sabella and Tracy Snow and is produced by Bob Bender. The Business Side of Music is recorded at Music Dog Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. Production sound designed by Keith Stark. Voiceover and promo by Lisa Busan.
I can assure you he is truly a very sick boy.
Never had one lesson.